In 1958, a group of visionary Episcopalians began worshiping in the basement of a home in Broomfield. Their vision was to be a place of comfort to the Broomfield community. That vision is alive today. As we approach our 60th anniversary, Holy Comforter is preparing for a bright future. We're growing, and Broomfield is growing around us. This campaign is our opportunity to grow together. Over the last several years, we've prayed for God's guidance and listened to one another share our hopes and dreams for the future. We heard you, that you want Holy Comforter to continue growing in numbers and in faith. You want us to focus especially on children and youth. You want us to engage and serve the Broomfield community, and you want us to achieve financial sustainability. Your vision helped shape the priorities for our 3-year, $1.1 million capital campaign. For us to continue growing together, we need to invest in our people by growing our staff. We need to cut our mortgage in half so we can support ministries instead of servicing debt. And we need to address some critical property needs in our failing pipe organ and air conditioning system.
Our founding members were such visionaries. In 1958, when a dozen families came together to form Holy Comforter, Broomfield had a population of 1,500 people. And when they purchased the land that we now enjoy, 287 was just a 2-lane country road. Well, now, 60 years later, Broomfield has grown to over 60,000, and 287 is a 6-lane highway connecting us to the greater metro area. Those founding members had faith in a future that they could not yet see, and now it's our turn to dream for the future that God is yet to unfold. For the last several years, we have been asking ourselves questions of identity and purpose. Who are we, and who is God calling us to become? Our mission is to restore all people with God and one another in Christ. And as we've been thinking about what that looks like for Holy Comforter in the 21st century, 3 priorities have become clear for us to address. First, it's time for us to invest in our people by growing our staff. Broomfield is poised to grow to 90,000 in the next several decades. Families come through our doors every week looking for meaningful worship and community connections and outreach opportunities and musical education. Investing in our staff will allow us to continue offering those as we continue to grow. Secondly, we need to get serious about paying down our debt. In these tough economic times, more and more people are struggling to put food on their table and keep a roof over their heads. And for us to be able to meet these basic human needs, for us to be able to love our neighbor, it's time for us to get our own house in order and pay down our mortgage to free up cash for mission and ministry. And lastly, we have some critical property needs we need to address. Our pipe organ and our air conditioning system, they're at the end of their natural life, and they need to be replaced. Just like our own personal homes need significant investment from time to time to be in good repair, it's time for us to do this for our spiritual home as well. Raj and I really love Holy Comforter, and we are invested in growing together. I hope that you'll grow together with us. Thank you.
We have an average weekly attendance of about 220 at this point. And we are the largest congregation in Colorado that's served by only one priest.
We think that another priest, another staff member who can offer a service and a church service and then services to our parishioners would make good sense.
One of the things that we have going for us as a community right now is we're using our ministry, music ministry, in so many different ways, but we have some limitations. We are limited in space, and our great music director is limited in the time at this point that we can compensate her for.
What we are hoping for is that music program becomes a draw, a real center for what Holy Comforter offers to this Broomfield and larger surrounding communities.
We now have more people than our staff can serve, and more keep coming through our doors. To support our growth and to keep investing in our people, our campaign includes seed money to call a second priest and to increase our music staff. Now let's hear how our faith formation and music education programs affect the lives of those in our congregation, and imagine how investing in people is an investment in our future.
Well, first we tell, the teacher tells a story, and then we have playtime with, clay. You can do clay, markers, paint, and you can play with any of the stories you want to. I really like the activities I get to do here. I've been doing the chorus since last spring. I was in the Honk Junior play musical. That was just an amazing play.
Going to Quest is actually, it's really good for the youth group kids. They teach us in a way that is interesting to teens.
You know, we've got over 1.3 million in debt on the building right now, and paying that down substantially can substantially reduce the amount of interest we're paying every month. Freeing up that money for another use clearly allows us to expand and improve our ministries.
Did you know that if we pay off half our debt, we can save nearly $60,000 a year? Can you imagine the faithful ministries we can support if we aren't servicing that much debt? We will graduate from being a mission congregation to a full-fledged parish once again. Let's take a look at some of those ministries.
The city of Broomfield and the Broomfield community really considers this a gathering place on Tuesday afternoons where people come to connect with local farmers and healthy food, but also to catch up with their neighbors and enjoy some good music.
So the mission trip was I think there was a lot of community and team building. It was.
We have a couple of critical property needs. Our air conditioning system is failing and needs to be replaced, and our beloved pipe organ has reached a point where it's more cost-effective to replace than repair. Providing for beautiful music and our physical comfort are essential to our mission and ministry. This is God's house and our spiritual home, and it needs some care.
This is the Holy Comforter organ that was assembled by one of our very own parishioners, Mr. Larry Bird. This organ, the first pieces of which were collected back in the 1930s, when Larry was just 17 years old, from the First Presbyterian Church in Boulder. When the new sanctuary was built, that organ, as well as the organ that Larry had assembled in his basement, was moved into this sanctuary, and so we have the instrument that is behind us. This organ has served this church well for 5 decades, but as I mentioned, many of the parts were used when it was assembled, and at this point many of those parts are beginning to show signs that they're ready to be replaced.
We're blessed to be part of a larger church, the Episcopal Church in Colorado, and so we want to dedicate a portion of our campaign to benefit Cathedral Ridge, our diocesan camp and conference center. This place is holy ground where our congregation and our kids especially have a chance to encounter God in creation. So know that we're dedicating 5% of what we raise so kids of all ages and all backgrounds can experience a place that's meant so much to us.
So what are we asking of you? First and foremost, we're asking that you continue giving as you have been to the annual campaign. The annual campaign supports our operating budget, and for 2016, it will ensure that the lights stay on, the bills get paid, and those doors stay open, not only for all of us, but for all of those new faces and new families who are drawn to those doors and who continue to walk through those doors seeking comfort. Second, we ask that you pray. Seek God's counsel in determining what you and your family can give above and beyond your normal giving to support the Growing Together campaign. Think about how you've been blessed in your life and how your blessings can help bless others. Think about why Holy Comforter is so important to you. Think about why it's important to the community. And then on Sunday, October 25th, join us as we all gather together in faith to make our pledge to the Growing Together campaign. I look forward to working with you, growing together with you, and seeing how we can achieve what God is calling us to be.